Semiconductors are the backbone of the AI revolution. We're talking about Nvidia, AMD, Micron. We're talking about Marvell. We're talking about all sorts of different chip companies being a part of this AI revolution. And someone found a way to use these companies, create a ETF, and get paid pretty well. And that ETF is CHPY, and that stands for the Yield Max Semiconductor Portfolio Options ETF. Now right now, CHPY is distributing about 40% as I'm recording this video, and it will go back anywhere between that 30 to almost 45%. It pays out weekly, and the cool thing is that if you own CHPY, you're getting some exposure to some of those semiconductor stocks, plus you're also getting some pretty good high yield. Now, I actually own CHPY in my portfolio, but the question I am going to be pushing out there is CHPY worth it? Does it deserve a place in your portfolio? Today, we're going to be breaking down CHPY itself. We're going to be looking at the strategy of the ETF. We're going to be looking at the distributions. We're going to be looking at the pros and even the cons and seeing if this maybe deserves a spot in your portfolio. I know a lot of you guys love CHPY, or a lot of you guys hate CHPY. Well, that's good news, because maybe you want to watch this video and see if what the pros are, what the cons are, and if this is a good one to put in your portfolio. And to end off the video, I'm also going to give you my verdict on what I think about it. So let's get to it, let's dive in, and let's get started.
This video is purely educational content and should not be considered personal finance advice. I'm not a licensed financial advisor, and I don't know your financial situation, risk tolerance, or even investment goals. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results, and always do your own research and consider consulting with a qualified financial professional before making any investment. Alright, let's get on to the video.
Hey guys, my name is Steve and I run the Frugal Expat website, where we try to help people to save more and invest better. Today we are breaking down the ETF CHPY and if it deserves to be in your portfolio. Alright, let's get to it. Let's get started. Now, what is CHPY? Now, CHPY is an ETF that tracks semiconductor companies, anywhere between 15 to 30 different companies. It is a yield max fund, and it is from the same fund company that's like NVDY, MSTY, ULTY, SOXY. Now, if you think about these funds, a lot of them from UMax are not so good, and a lot of them are a little bit different. Now, CHPY, on the other hand, is a little bit different. It doesn't hold a single stock. It holds 15 to 30 different stocks. Secondly is a lot of the yield max ETFs are doing synthetic calls and synthetic positions, using derivatives and using all sorts of other ways and creating income. CHPY actually owns the assets under management, so it doesn't have a synthetic Nvidia or synthetic Broadcom or synthetic Micron. It's got all these assets under management, and it's using a cover call overlay on top of these to create income. Now, these companies you probably have heard of. We've got Nvidia, Broadcom, Marvell, Lam Research. There are a bunch of these companies within this ETF. And the cool part is you're getting a piece of it, especially when the semiconductor industry and sector are just skyrocketing up. And so if you're holding it from maybe a couple months ago, you probably got it much cheaper, and now it's just continuing to go up. Now, that sounds like some pretty good things about this ETF. And the distribution sitting at that 40% right now, and it will go back and forth from the 30 to 45%. And that sounds like a good thing too. It also pays out weekly, so you're getting paid every single week, and if you're dripping it, it just means it continues to compound over time. That sounds great. But here's the thing, we're going to talk about some of those pros and cons later, but let's get talking about how does it make its money. So CHPY is using a cover call strategy. So what it's doing, it's got those different chip companies within its portfolio, and it's selling cover calls on those. And it's trying to create some good premium in order to pass it out to their investors. Now, with that, you're getting that 30 to 45%, and that's because there's high volatility within the semiconductor sector. Right now, you have companies like AMD and Micron just shooting up and up. You've got companies like Nvidia that's a little bit calmer, but you got some companies like Marvell that went from a little bit low all the way to $1 trillion company. And so you got a lot of different companies within this ETF that are quite volatile, and they're harvesting that volatility and creating income by using some cover calls. Now, of course, with cover calls is if a company does skyrocket really fast, you're going to be capping on your upside. And so that could be some bad news. But we'll also be talking about that in the cons section of this video. But also, let's get down to some of those pros of Chippy and see why someone may want to own Chippy as an ETF. Pro number 1, real shares, not synthetic. Now, a lot of yield max ETFs are built with synthetic positions, and so therefore they don't actually own the real shares, and their hope is they can make some money off of that. Now, a lot of people can get burned by yield max, and some of their ETFs are considered, to some people, say they're trash. And so I'm not going to say that about Chippy, I'm not going to say that about Soxy either, but I'm going to say about Chippy is they actually own their assets under management. So that's good news. So if you want to have a piece of it, you actually own a piece of those different companies. Pro number 2 is diversification within the semiconductor sector. Now, this ETF doesn't just hold one chip company, doesn't hold just 10 chip companies, it holds anywhere between 15 to 30. Right now it's holding about 25. And so if you want to picture that, you can look at an SMH. SMH owns about 25. SOXX owns about 30. And so you're getting some of the best chip companies within this portfolio. So that's good news. So that's another pro for Chippy. Pro number 3, paid weekly. Now, Chippy is not doing monthlies, it's not doing quarterlies, it's doing weekly distributions. So you're able to get that paycheck 52 weeks out of the year. And so you can reinvest that, you can use it for other things. And the cool thing is, it gets paid every single week, no matter how long you own this. So that's another great pro for this ETF. Pro number 4, NAV stability compared to single stock peers. Now, so YieldMax has a lot of single stock ETFs, and the problem with that is NAV erosion can erode those really quickly. We have seen that with even some Roundhill ETFs. We've seen that with some other single stock ETFs. With this, you got a diverse portfolio, and with it, you're also getting some NAV appreciation. Now, Chippy has been doing pretty well year to date, and that's good news if you are looking for something to continue to grow. And so that's a great pro for having Chippy as a part of your portfolio. Pro number 5 is semiconductors are continuing to go up. Now, semiconductors are, a lot of people say, are cyclical. But right now, as we see, everything has chips. We're talking about the SSD cards that are in my camera. We're talking about the computer. It's got memory. We're talking about AI data centers. We're talking about cars, electronics. We're talking about everything needs chips. And so right now, the semiconductor sector is going on fire because a lot of AI data centers need memory. A lot of different of these chip companies are creating new products to help things out. And so we got a little bit of a bottleneck right now. And so this is going to continue to rise, and it's going to help Chippy to rise as well. Hey guys, if you really like this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And one place I have been tracking my portfolio is through Snowball Analytics. Snowball Analytics is a great platform to track your portfolio, see what the dividends are doing, the dividend payouts, making goals, and be able to create like a great dashboard to see how your funds and stocks are doing. And so I've been using it since February 2025. And if you want to use it, click on my link in the description and a link in the pinned comments, and you'll get a discount. And so that's a great news to you. All right, guys, let's get back to our video. Now, I just mentioned 5 different pros to having Chippy in your portfolio. And, honestly, you guys may grill me because some of you guys may hate Chippy, but that's okay. These are some good pros to this portfolio. Now, let's dive into those cons. What are the cons for Chippy? Now, there are several different cons to Chippy, and I'm not going to try to sugarcoat it. I'm going to try to give you some real things. Con number 1, negative alpha. Now, what I'm talking about is, first of all, if you take a look at Chippy and you compare it to maybe an SMH or an SOXX, as those things are skyrocketing, Chippy's price is not doing as well as those bigger time semiconductor ETFs. So in year-to-date performance, SOXX is up around 93%. SMH is up about 69.55%, and Chippy is up a little bit over 46.5% in price of performance alone. So right there, Chippy is behind SMH by about, 25 percentage points. And we also have it behind SOXX by about almost close to 50 percentage points in price appreciation alone. So right there, CHPY is missing out on huge gains. But that's besides the point, because if you're just looking for those huge gains, you might as well just invest in an SMH or an SOXX. But that's where you get that negative alpha from. So I own CHPY and I own SMH. I like SMH for the pure growth. I like CHPY for the income. So those are two different ways to look at it. Con number 2 is the return of capital. Now with CHPY, you have different distributions every single week, and they post out how much the return of capital is happening every single week. A lot of weeks they do 100%. Some weeks they do 60%. Last distribution, when I'm recording this video, was around 25%. So you're gonna get a different ROC for different amounts. So what this means is some of the income coming in is going to be taxed at your ordinary income rate. Some of it is going to be tax deferred because it's going to be that return of capital. So those are some different things going on. Now, if you look at some other yield max ETFs, when they do a lot of ROC, maybe they're also paying way more in distributions than they're actually collecting when they're doing their covered call strategy. So that could be a little bit of concern. That could be a red flag. Maybe a better, more conservative approach could be less yield, but then that could also scare away some investors that like the high yield. But that's a little bit of a con for CHPY. Con number 3 is the yield moves with volatility. Now, I said at the beginning, the yield is going to go from either 30% all the way up to 45%. When volatility is higher, it's going to have a higher yield. When volatility is not so high, it's going to have a lower yield. Now, that is a huge range. And if we look at more conservative ETFs, we're seeing the range much smaller. Like a QQQI has a range of anywhere between 13 to 15%. Very stable, very consistent. With CHPY, you're going to see huge ranges, and so some of the payouts may not be as consistent, and that's just something to think about. Con number 4 is that capped upside in a bull market. So when bull markets do happen, like it's happening now, you're going to see some more of a capped upside. You're going to see other ETFs that don't have that capped upside skyrocket and go crazy. But with CHPY, if you're investing in it, you're not investing for the huge price return, you're probably investing more for the yield. Now, the price return is a great bonus, and it's doing really well. I mean, if you compare the price return to many other ETFs on the market, many other income ETFs, it's killing it. The yield is also killing it. And so that could be a huge con. If you want more price return, SOXX, SMH, or even PSI could be better ETFs for your portfolio. Con number 5 could be never test it in a real bear market. I've heard the comments, I've seen them, and a lot of comments when I talk about income ETFs is they haven't seen a bear market. That is very true. CHPY has been around since April of 2025, and so it hasn't been around even 2 years. And so if we were to see a bear market, we may see maybe the distributions could be cut, maybe the ETF could erode, having some NAV erosion, but we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. And you could say that with a lot of income ETFs, but that's just a con to think about. Now, what are some better ways to get some semiconductor income? Now, we have CHPY that makes income off of semiconductors. We have maybe one other kind of big time ETF that does the same. And that's the yield max ETF called SOXY. SOXY is basically like CHPY, but it gives you better price return, but it's got a lower yield. The yield tries to target that 12% yield, allowing some more upside with the entire portfolio, but you're also getting less yield. But here's the thing is, there's just not many ETFs on the market giving you some pure semiconductor portfolio and income as a part of that as well. Now, another alternative could be KQQQ from Curve. This is the Technology Titan Select ETF, and this could be a way to do it, but you know what it does, it tracks the largest tech companies and it throws in some special metals, and so you're getting not only Nvidia, but you're also getting like Amazon, Apple, Microsoft as well. And so that may be a way, but it's also got some pretty good yield of 14 to 15%, but that may not be the way you want to do it. Now, the third alternative to CHPY could be QQQI or maybe GPIQ, but with QQQI or GPIQ, you're tracking the NASDAQ 100, so you're getting some of those chip companies, but you're also getting some more other companies. So CHPY right there is one of the better ones with tracking semiconductors, and it is very hard to find other alternatives, and so you're getting an ETF that is associated with YieldMax. Now, YieldMax, they may have tons and tons of different ETFs, and not every one of them is good for every person. But with CHPY, you're getting good yield, some price appreciation, a negative alpha. You're getting some tax efficiency, some not so tax efficiency. There's just so many goods and bads, concentration, semiconductors, and you're also getting maybe a higher expense ratio. I mean, there's just a lot of pros and cons to this ETF. Now, like I said before, I own CHPY. I have skin in the game. I have it sitting in my taxable account. I have it sitting in my Roth, adding some shares every single week. So is this an ETF that deserves to be in your portfolio? Now, the way I look at it is, as semiconductors are continuing to go up, as people are still looking for different ways to create income off the semiconductors, you could sell options on the semiconductors, but you may not know what you're doing. You could rely on a bigger fund like maybe a QQQI, maybe a TDAC, maybe a GPIQ that gives you, or a KKK that gives you some managers over a larger stack of different tech companies. Or you can go for a concentrated look with a CHPY. Now, I'm not giving any financial advice or anything, but looking at it is, I always think about it as this way, is, it's giving me some good income right now. Now, if the semiconductor sector does tank like massively, I'm going to watch it carefully, and I'm going to revise, think about it, and see if I need to get rid of it and maybe pick up something different. Maybe a good plan could be having a little bit of CHPY, a little bit of SOXY, and you get that good semiconductor income portfolio right there. Some people may just have SMH, PSI, maybe SOXX, and just be done with it and have income through some other income ETFs like a QQQI, a GPIQ, TDAC, OVL. There's some others out there that you could get some exposure to some of those semiconductors. Now, it's all up to you. And I know some of you guys love CHPY. It's a great ETF. And some of you guys hate CHPY. There are some good red flags to also think about. So let me know in the comments, what is your opinion about CHPY? I know some of you guys have some strong opinions, and that's great. I like to enjoy and read about them and even converse with you guys online as well. Let me know in the comments, what is your favorite semiconductor ETF? And should CHPY be a part of your ETF portfolio? Let me know in the comments, and make sure to check out my video on CHPY versus SOXY right up here. And I'll catch you guys in our next video.